When I pulled the cable, it lost the stream and lost the connection, so I'm going to have to repeat this project from the start. So here we're going to use head. Let me clear this. Now I realize what's happened. So I'm going to make a new notebook in Drive. Ah, good, I see people are coming back. All right, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. When I pulled out the cable, it killed the stream. So I'm going to carry on here and do it all over again. So here's the original Python script that makes a socket, connects to this server, and sends a valid head request to the server. This is a valid head request. It is one line head and then carriage return line feed, then the name of the host, and then 2 carriage return line feeds. That's what a valid head request looks like. So you send it to the server, and it prints the data that comes back and decodes it to turn it into readable ASCII. Let's terminate all other sessions. All right. And close this. And now I should be able to run this one. All right. So that's the header coming. So this worked. Now, where I got in trouble last time was to use get to log in. So I'm going to run Wireshark to sniff the traffic. And I'm going to do stop, start, continue without saving. All right, now it's sniffing, and I'm going to look for HTTP traffic. All right, and it's sniffing on EN1, which is my wireless connection, and I've unplugged the wired connection. So now I'm going to log in to this page with an A for username and a B for a password. I log in, and now it captures it here in Wireshark. I can stop sniffing. Here's the GET request that sent that to the server, and there's the reply from the server. If you right-click this and follow the TCP stream, you see the GET request here in red and the reply in blue. So I'm going to copy this, including the blank line at the end, and then I'm going to paste that into my script here. So this was the old GET request. I'm going to get rid of that. And now that I'm using multi-line, I'm going to use triple quotes, paste in this stuff, and end the triple quotes. There, so now I've got the whole request here. Now this would work in older versions of Apache, but the new versions of Apache require you to manually add the \r after each line, which is annoying, but can be done. So it's \r, whoops, \r. I'm just going to put that in my clipboard and put that at the end of each line. Here I use the end key to get to the end. And then I put it in every line going down. End key again. All right, there. Now I've added a \r to each line. Now, this is what confused me before. When I run this, I'm going to get an error message, which I should have realized is nothing to panic about. It's even in the instructions, but I spent some time trying to solve it before I realized that I lost the stream anyway. So now when I run this one, it's going to send it to the server, but the data that comes back is going to include an unprintable character 8B. And that's because if you look at what we saw in Wireshark, the reply contained unreadable binary data down here, not ASCII. That's because we allowed it to send zipped data, so this is compressed data. And compressed data cannot be converted right back to ASCII. So to prevent that, you just have to get rid of the accept encoding line. Tell I do not want it to come zipped. So instead of accepting encoding gzip and deflate, I'm just going to triple click and delete. And if you don't tell it you'll accept zipped data, it won't send you zipped data. So now I get readable data. Here's the readable header telling me the version of the server and such. And here's the HTML page showing me login rejected, here's what you sent, and so on. So now it sent me plain ASCII readable data. All right. So that's how you do a get login. Now a post login looks like this. If you go here and log in and capture this in Wireshark, I go back to my Wireshark and close this and start sniffing again and continue without saving and change the filter to HTTP again. Now when I log in here, it's going to show a post data instead of get. And if you stop this, you can use the same right-click follow TCP stream to see what post request looks like. And this is what I mentioned. This is referable. Post data puts the data down here instead of putting it in the URL. So it's considered more secure because that won't appear in browser favorites or in the server logs. It's a better place to put secrets like usernames and passwords. So we can now make a script. We can copy this out of Python and make a script that will try this and change all the parameters and so on. So there are ways to do it. Once you do it, you'll be able to get a flag out of here. And then you can try doing post. If you make a loop, your password is a 2-digit number, so you have 100 possible passwords. So you can make a loop trying them all until you find out which the flag by getting it right. And then you can, for extra credit, you can do basic authentication, which actually tries to obscure the password by base64 encoding it on the way up, the username and the password. So you can see that in Wireshark. This is what it sends. This is a base64 encoding of username : password is what it is. And you can see how this works, and you can then execute basic encoding in Python and find an extra, find some flags based on brute forcing those. Now, if you want to use HTTPS, you cannot use Wireshark because it's encrypted. What you use is Firefox Developer Tools. And this is Chrome, so I think I'm not going to be, this is not Chrome, this is Opera. So I don't know if Opera has these developer tools, but Firefox does. And if you use Firefox, you can turn on these developer tools down here and capture the network traffic, and then you'll see the request here. So you can copy the request out of here even though it's encrypted. And that's one way to do it. But the best thing is to just use the requests library to do this. The requests library is the general Python library for this kind of thing. You can easily do everything with requests. And if you look at this page, there are examples how to write the Python for it. And these days you could use AI to help write the script. But this is how you'd make a request with the username and password to go to basic authentication here and send it over HTTPS. So it'll be encrypted. You don't have to do the encryption yourself. The requests library will do it. So that's the most general solution, is to learn how to use the requests library. And there's yet more flags you can find that way. So I'm going to stop this. Again, I see no comments. All right.